did the universe come to be according to the Greek mythology? Welcome to Dark Magic Hour. Let's dive into this take of myth or legend. In the beginning, there was only chaos, a vast yawning chasm of darkness and disorder. From this abyss emerged the first ancient beings, born from the void. They were as cold and uncaring as the emptiness from which they crawled. Gaia, the earth, rose first, her body swelling with the weight of endless mountains and black oceans. But Gaia was not alone for long, for from her depths came Tartarus, the shadowed prison of despair and torment. Together, they filled the void with an unholy balance, creation and destruction, life and death. Then came Uranus, the sky, stretching his dark expanse over Gaia, trapping her beneath him. But this was no union of love. Uranus, paranoid and cruel, feared the power of the children Gaia bore him. Horrors like the Cyclops, whose single unblinking eye glowed with a terrifying unnatural light, and the Hecatoncheires, grotesque giants with 100 arms, endlessly thrashing in madness. Uranus chained these abominations deep within Gaia's womb, where they writhed in torment, their muffled screams echoing through the roots of the world. Gaia's pain grew unbearable. In her agony, she sought vengeance. She whispered to her sons, the Titans, urging them to rise against their father. Only Kronos, the youngest and most twisted, had the ambition for such a deed. With his mother's guidance, Kronos fashioned a sickle, its blade jagged and gleaming with malice. One night, as Uranus lay stretched across the heavens, Kronos struck. He castrated his father in a single brutal slash. And from Uranus's blood, new horrors were born. The Vengefuls Erinyes, and the towering giants, born to stalk the world with hatred in their hearts. From the foam of the mutilation, Aphrodite arose, a beautiful but dangerous force, born from the violence of the night. With Uranus cast down, Kronos became the lord of the cosmos, ruling over a world as bleak and merciless as his reign. But Kronos, like his father, was haunted by fear. A prophecy whispered in the winds that one of his own children would rise against him, would tear him down, just as he had done to Uranus. And so Kronos, in his paranoia, devoured each of his offspring the moment they left their mother's womb. Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Hades, Poseidon, swallowed whole. Then cries echoing in the darkness of his belly. His wife, Rhea, could only watch in horror as her children disappeared into his maw, one after another, each consumed by the ravenous hunger of power. But when the youngest, Zeus, was born, Rhea could bear no more. In secret, she hid the child away, wrapping a stone in swaddling cloth and offering it to Kronos in the place of her son. Kronos, blind in his madness, devoured the rock without question, while Zeus was spirited away to a cave raised in the shadows of the world. Years passed, and Zeus grew strong, his heart darkened by the thoughts of vengeance. He sought out Metis, a cunning titaness, and together they concocted a plan. Zeus returned to Kronos, and with Metis' poison, he forced the tyrant to vomit up his siblings, now fully grown and burning with a desire for retribution. Thus began the Titanomachy, a war that tore the heavens asunder. The Titans, mighty and relentless, fought against Zeus and his siblings. But the Olympians had allies of their own. The terrible Cyclops, released from their prison, forged thunderbolts for Zeus, tridents for Poseidon, and a helm of shadows for Hades. And the Hecatoncheires, driven mad by centuries of imprisonment, lashed out with their 100 arms, crushing the Titans in a frenzy of violence. The war raged for 10 long years, shaking the very foundation of the universe. In the end, the Titans were cast down, their once mighty forms shackled and hurled into Tartarus, that hellish abyss beneath the earth, where they would languish in eternal suffering. The cries of anguish were lost in the darkness, forgotten by all but the shadows. Zeus took the throne of the cosmos, but his victory came at a price. The world was left scarred and broken, haunted by the blood of the Titans and the darkness that had birthed them. The Olympians divided by the realms among themselves. Zeus claimed the heavens, Poseidon the seas, and Hades the underworld, where the dead wandered, lost and forgotten. But beneath Zeus's rule, the world remained cold and unfeeling, ruled by the laws as rigid and uncaring as the gods themselves. In the end, the reign of the gods was forged in violence and betrayal, a cycle of endless cruelty that stretched from the beginning of time itself. The Olympians may have triumphed, but the darkness from which they came never truly disappeared. It simply lingered, waiting for the next fall, the next betrayal. For in this world, power is always paid for in blood, and the gods were no exception. And so it was. We will dive into every Greek story ever told, and stories you have never heard before, but are true. Like and subscribe if you like what you see, and comment below what you'd like to hear next time. This is Dark Magic Hour, signing out. See you in your nightmare.